Hey, how's it going everyone? John here and welcome back to Let's Talk Resident Evil. Today we had our second showcase of Resident Evil Village and got a ton of new info about not only Village, but also Infinite Darkness and Resident Evil 4 VR. Now starting with Resident Evil Village, we got a Mercenaries mode, another game trailer, demo dates for not only the PlayStation Early Access demos, but that's going to be coming to all consoles and PC. And by all consoles, I mean Xbox. We also got a new look at Infinite Darkness, as well as a sneak peek at what they're planning to do with Resident Evil 4 on Oculus. More information on that on the 16th, I think, but that's not really relevant to us. So we got a new trailer, and I think I speak for both Anthony and I when we say that there's a lot to talk about. So we're going to get right into it. So right off the bat, we're introduced to the ceremony site, and it has this little pillar in the middle with the four crests of the four houses that we've become very familiar with Resident Evil Village. On those four pillars, on the red parts of the pillars, actually I believe it is, they all lead to those four statues of where we think is the ceremony site as listed on the map. Not really too much details about this area still. We think it's the ceremony site. We think that a major event is going to take place here, but we do know what it looks like now instead of just an aerial shot from overhead, and I think that's really cool.
Hello. If there are any survivors out there, come to Louisa's house near the fields.
During the trailer, we are also greeted by an unknown voice telling, presumably, any survivors in the village to get to a little place that she refers to as Louisa's house. Now, Louisa's house was on the map, and we did speculate, and what I'm thinking is Louisa's house is the place that we see in the trailer that has all of the surviving villagers in it.
Is this all that's left? From your entire village? All that's left? There is no one left!
This would make sense because there are multiple parts in the trailer where they're talking about people not surviving and the holding hands, that ceremony, the little ceremony that they do, trying to summon Mother Miranda, is kind of all-inclusive. Another interesting thing that is brought up in the trailer is a line that's said later on in the trailer that talks about how Mother Miranda always protected them, and that it's a little confusing that she is perhaps going against them. It could be a betrayal thing. We don't know for sure, but I'd love to know what you guys think about that in the comments below.
It doesn't make any sense. Mother Miranda has always protected us.
Now, in the trailer, you also see Ethan take up a car once again. And as the ceremony, the little hand-holding ceremony I'm calling it, seems to have been interrupted by monsters, and the place gets burned down or presumably catches on fire, whether that be from the old man in the trailer we see has like some type of stroke or heart attack or he just kills over. I don't know, but he hits the table and maybe he knocks over the candles. Anthony is cracking up in the background. We're gonna keep that in anyway. Yeah, so he falls over and he maybe knocks over a candle. I didn't see that. I just know that it's on fire. And for some reason there's a car there and Ethan gets in and does what Ethan does best. Which is Ethan just drives the car through the wall. We're really tired, guys. Yeah, seriously, Ethan takes the car and he drives it through the wall. And it seems like he's talking about like, oh, we could use this to escape. So this is where I'm thinking, on a serious note now, this is where I'm thinking the girl is going to come into play, because the rumored girl, Emily or whatever her name is, the rumored girl that we're supposed to like help kind of, and that we see in the trailers, some of the earlier trailers, I think she's in the passenger seat, and I think she's the only one that makes it out. But we don't know that for sure. So let me know what you think about that in the comments as well. There's going to be a lot of that interaction, so make sure you let us know in the comments what you think about these things and what your take is on them. Now, we are greeted to a sight, once again, of Heisenberg dragging Ethan through what appears to be a mine shaft, maybe into his factory, And it's not really notable, but I think it's kind of interesting how when the camera pans in, the gears on the left and right of Ethan are static with him, like they're on him, and then they kind of fall. I wonder if that was like some kind of contraption he was dragging Ethan on. I'm not really sure. Not that that really matters. But what does matter is he seems to be taking him to some sort of ceremony. I think this is a red herring scene, guys, because I think that this takes place early in the game, not late in the game. I could be wrong about this, but Lady D is there. Lady Dimitrescu, or Demetris, or whatever they called her. But she's there, and so is what I think is Mother Miranda with the mask and the feathers, and Heisenberg is there, and he says something about let the games begin. Now, assuming this is an ADR, which is a trailer thing where they record dialogue and throw it over footage where it doesn't take place. If this is the beginning of the game, what I'm thinking is Ethan gets captured, he wakes up in the snow, he goes to the village, he gets captured again after the big chief comes down with the big hammer. He wakes up to Heisenberg dragging him to this ceremony or whatever it is. Then he ends up letting the games begin. What I think the games are, I actually think the games might be some type of hunt where they let Ethan go, because Ethan is running, like he's running with his shackles, right? And he's running and he's trying to break down the wood doors in the trailer, or the wood gates or whatever they are. I think it's a game where they hunt Ethan down, but he escapes, and that's the first part of the game. And then once he escapes, the castle's the second part. I think a lot of people are expecting the castle to be the first part. I don't think that might necessarily be true. I think it might be Heisenberg first. Not the factory, just Heisenberg's cave. Followed to the after the village. Village, Heisenberg's cave, back to the village, to the castle, where then we get to see a lot of the sustenance that we've seen so far in Village with Lady D and her 3 daughters, which, hey, that could be. It's just a theory I have. Let me know what you think about that below. One more interesting note. When he is giving his little speech, he says lichens and gentlemens. Well, lichen and gentlemen. We know that there's a big female power kind of aura to the castle. So I'm wondering if lichen and gentleman is specifically said because the lichens are more evolved versions of the gentlemen that you do see in the trailer, like the roaring and stuff. Because in the trailer, we do get a sneak peek at what looks to be an evolved lichen. And I'm thinking that maybe there's like a discrepancy, maybe a hierarchy between Heisenberg and his lichens, as well as the not as advanced lichens. Because he's kind of giving like this big speech to his people, like, you know, the games are about to begin, and we're going to go hunt Ethan down, and we're going to kill his faceless ass, and he's going to drive a car through us or something. I don't know. Another interesting thing that we did notice that we will get to in our upcoming screenshot breakdown is what appears to be 2 new, possibly main characters to Village that are kind of snuck in there in the trailer, and also a lot more clear in the screenshot. We've included a screenshot here so you can kind of see them a little bit more exposed. But we're kind of theorizing right now that these are probably going to end up being the leaders or the representatives of the other 2 houses. Really want to know what you guys think about this. I think both are really cool and kind of creepy looking, and I like how different all 4 of the house leaders would be if that's what they turn out to be. Yeah, so let us know.
And as John said earlier, we do see lichens. There is a lichen that climbs one of the cabins or huts that we see quickly in the trailer as it attacks Ethan. It looks fucking awesome. And we also see the fish monster. Yes, the fish monster. So we saw a little depiction of illustration of a fish monster right around the water area of the map breakdown that we did. When they released the map, a lot of people noticed that it was a fish monster, and there is one, and it looks like Ethan's on a boat trying to get through a tunnel, and it's in the way. One of the interesting things with the enemy designs and the characters that they have in this game it seems like they are really upping the ante on the boss fights that are in the game. That's something we didn't really get a lot of in Resident Evil 7, where it was Jack Baker for most of the game, and then we had Marguerite and the Molded. But this seems like, because there's multiple layers to the story, there's multiple layers to the family, it seems like there's going to be a boss battle for each kind of section, and it is very reminiscent to RE4 in that regard. So it does seem like it is more full of life. It seems like Village is really showing to be, the biggest Resident Evil game yet as far as content, because there's a lot of content in this, it seems. There's a lot of story to unravel, and they are still able to show us a lot without giving away anything, you know what I mean, besides, the overall idea of what's going on here within the village. But we still don't know a lot of the motives behind certain people in this village, and we also don't know what was happening before Ethan got to the village. I think that's what's going to be very interesting, is seeing what the civilization was like there before all this stuff happened. If it was once, controlled and conformed by a virus, or because of the actions of Ethan, it affected what the village was and what it's going to become. So we don't really know anything further than that. Of course, this is a quote-unquote story trailer, so we do get a little bit more insight of how these, how all of these characters that Ethan runs into, all of these new enemies, are going to kind of unfold, and we're going to play certain parts of it kind of like layers. And just like John mentioned earlier, the demos, multiple demos for multiple areas. So once we get to explore these areas of the village and kind of get a taste of the design, what's hidden within them, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot more stuff to dissect and, of course, break down within that stuff. Now, I'm not done yet. Mia stands in the middle of this fog, in the middle of snow, and she looks like she's standing in you see her silhouette, you can tell it's her. And at this point, Ethan is at the village, but, Mia is gone. I mean, she's dead. I mean, she got shot in the trailer. We saw that in the first trailer. Chris clapped her, and, she's standing there. So obviously this looks like a dream sequence. Everything looks hazy. It looks very dreamlike. And Mia is holding Rose. It happens really quick. She says Ethan, ... or that's, it's the part where everyone's saying Ethan in the trailer, so who fucking knows what's really being said in the actual game itself, but it's there. So who knows what that is? Maybe Ethan is, just seeing things, but that is something to note as well. And the end of the trailer showcases more of Chris Redfield. Now, we saw Chris Redfield hit Ethan in the middle of this trailer, and Ethan says, no, or what are you doing? And the biggest takeaway from this scene is how Chris's men beat the fuck out of Ethan and restrain him. So one of Chris's men gets on top of him and says, stand the fuck down. And, it looks like he's trying to attack Chris at this meeting. It looks like he's already in the village. He's already, well off into the village, and Chris finds him. And, of course, Ethan may feel a certain way after seeing, Chris just clap Mia like that, and maybe there's little to no explanation to the Ethan character at this point as far as, why he's doing what he's doing. So as Chris stands by with his arms crossed and, Ethan is on the ground restrained, Chris says, "I'm surprised you made it this far. It would be ashamed if something happened to you now." And, well, what the fuck's his problem? We don't really know. So it looks like Chris does have a team, and we're going to get more into that on the screenshot breakdown, because the press release showed us a little bit more of Chris's team and the emblem that is also there. I have to say that I am a fan of darker Chris Redfield. I always was a fan of the Chris Redfield character. So seeing this and seeing his reaction to Ethan being there and him going about this so nonchalantly is very interesting. Obviously a character that's been, through the shit, and he's a lived-in character, is going to feel jaded to a certain degree. And we kind of saw them, half-heartedly bring him back in Resident Evil 7 and the Not a Hero story. this seems so far removed from that. And, you know, Chris's design's a lot better. I do like his voice actor as well, and the voice acting sounds really nice. So it does sound like they're really bringing it with this game. But when you bring back our old characters, all eyes are on that, because those are the characters that we do have a relationship with previously with these other games. So one of my biggest takeaways from this is, what the hell's next for Chris Redfield in this game, and where does he have, you know, his role in all this? What is his role in all this? You know, what does he have on Ethan? What does he have to do? I'm very curious. We're very curious here at Let's Talk Resident Evil. And that's going to wrap up our Resident Evil Village Trailer 4, story trailer number 2, whatever you want to call it, breakdown. We have a lot more to talk about. We do have multiple videos coming out, so stay tuned for that. And we hope you guys enjoyed our showcase. We hope you enjoyed the trailer reaction. And thank you for checking out our trailer breakdown as always. And hit that thumbs up if you like this content, or if you're excited for Resident Evil Village, of course, hit the like as well. Stay tuned for so much more content that we got lined up for you. And as John said throughout the video, let us know in the comments what you think about this whole trailer. Does it get you excited? Are you looking forward to the demos that are coming out? There's so much more that we're going to get in this whole month leading up to it. We're less than a month away already. We're already midway through April at this point. It's the 15th as of this recording. So there's going to be so much more stuff to dissect. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.